The Camp Gagnon video dropped. So anyways, people aren't digging. On me having a background. Oops. On me having a background and whatnot. And let me go film the rest of this in my truck. One sec. Alright, so hey, to continue, I'm not going to shoot this in my truck. I'm going to shoot it at home. My name's Dave. Right there. That's me. What else you got on here? Paradigm Combat Sports Training Center. There's some other stuff. My other cell phone. My Dunkin' coffee. So getting back to the Camp Gagnon video. I would like to do a video this morning on Carlos Manza, the politician that was shot and killed in Mexico, God rest his soul. But I'm not, because the Camp Gagnon video about my past dropped this morning. And so I'm already seeing in the comments a lot of things that are disparaging towards me, both from non-white people that are saying that people like me shouldn't have a platform because they're somehow perfect, or are the people that need to have their approval sought in order for anyone to voice their opinion, which, you know, obviously I don't share their opinion. They're allowed to have theirs. I like the idea of letting people talk and let the good ideas, or the ideas that people buy into, be approved of on their own merit, and that everybody has a voice. So I'm kind of that opinion, kind of that guy. Ugh. On the video on Camp Gagnon, I'm a little fat and I've been cutting down. I haven't eaten sugar for a couple years. You know, so when I'm bent over, I've got about that much belly fat. And I've been working out a lot more, and I want to thank my detractors for that. You know, because I got to be a little bit more in shape. What do you mean? I started my video, my channel, to initially find out whether or not the people that have earned my uniform are telling the truth when they're telling their stories. But all these other things come out in the wash, my background, etc. And so I start seeing other things that I can use my channel for. Spreading Christianity, which I believe in. When I got sober, most of the people that I had the hardest time with were the people that claimed to be my friends. And so when I read comments about how I've gotten soft, yeah, I got a couple pounds of pudge, but you know, I work out routinely. You know, married life will do that to you. I've got my wife shoving 5 plates of food in my face, and did for years. When I got out of basic training in Mexico, I had 8-pack. Gotten a little softer around the midsection, not going to lie. And you know what? I go down to the gym. I was there just this morning. I started really hitting it hard after I started doing the videos, because I know that people are going to talk smack. So if you think I'm soft, that's fine. You can think that. I know that I'm turning into a celebrity and people are going to see me in public, and so I need to be prepared for people that do not want to treat me with kindness and respect, which is okay. I've been prepared for that my entire life. I saw somebody in the comment section say that I was a traitor. I have a question for you, sir. A traitor to what exactly? Let me preface all of that by stating that aside from my channel trying to get to the bottom of whether or not people are telling the truth, because there are a lot of people that embellish or even flat out lie on YouTube to get people to think a certain way. Aside from my channel being dedicated to that, I was thinking about what else my channel could be dedicated to. And Silas Montoya, a boxer, who I need to get, Silas, sorry about not getting right back to you, but Silas Montoya is a boxer that wants to spread Christianity too. And we live in a world where there's evil and good. And I've dedicated a lot of my life to evil. I want to help straighten out or steer people a certain way with my channel. Especially people that might come from a background similar to mine. So guess what, Mr. Traitor? Mr. I'm no longer a white supremacist. I figured out that none of us had a choice. And this video is especially going out to people that are younger, that used to be like I was, my same skin color, or even other skin colors if they're smart enough to put it into action, that none of us had a choice of what we look like, dude. So let me tell you a story of my brother's ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, who was the head of the NLR chapter in the San Fernando Valley. Since I'm going to piss off people, I might as well just piss them all the way off. My wife tells me to be more subtle, but that's not really my style. There was a guy by the name of Popeye. He was the leader of the Nazi lowriders in the San Fernando Valley. This guy gets a release. He's in prison. This guy gets a release date 2 weeks to the pad, and then he gets told that he has to go stab somebody, right? And he wants to decline it because it's 2 weeks to the pad. So they stab him and kill him by stabbing him 30 times. You know, my younger brother is a great big gargantuan guy, probably a millionaire. We don't talk all that much, but he's very successful. And he has helped probably tens of thousands of people get sober. I got nothing but admiration and respect for my little brother. He's done a lot more with his sobriety than I've ever done with mine. But I figured out that I've been given a platform, so this is what I'm going to do with it. And I hope it's fucking clear, Mr. Traitor. It's not too late for you to pull your head out of your ass. I don't want to offend you, but when you talk about being a traitor, in what regard should I be loyal to you, sir? Are you paying my bills? Have you done something to help educate me or further my status in life, my lot in life? No, you haven't. In fact, when I was looking at that attempted murder charge in 1991, I was doing that alone. When they stuck us in the crit module, the LA County Sheriff's deputies, which they did, it was a pencil that saved me, not you. And I wound up getting lumped up anyways. And then also when I got into it with the Muslim 5%ers, it was a pencil that saved me, not you. And I just have to say that when you're talking about loyal to what? My wife has been there by my side every moment of the last 13 years, not you, sir. And when you're talking about being loyal or being a traitor to what? An ideology based on the color that I was born, which is just happen chance. I could have been born any color. My parents could have been any color. But here you are stating that I need to be loyal to you and your sideburns and your dress. I am not. I want to make it clear. And when I run into you in public, which might happen, and if not you, the other guy that says I've gotten old and soft, try me. I'm not trying to be antagonistic, but when you go on to my video talking about I'm a traitor and other younger versions of us are going to see this, I'm going to make it clear, okay, that I don't know you a fucking thing, man. Be subtle. You know, I want to be a Christian. I do, but this is why I say I'm the worst Christian all the time. Because I do have my background. I'm used to dealing with people like you, and then I go to Mexico and I deal with people that are cartels. I received two types of racism in Mexico, positive and negative. And of those two, positive racism was by far worse because they treated me better than they should have because I was born a certain color, very noble, high-class people. And then there are other people that treated me bad because I was white, but both of them are incorrect in my frame of mind because, or my perspective, because I want to treat people according to the way that they come off to me. I read a book on Malcolm X. I read a book on Martin Luther King, and I've read other books too. I've read the Gospel according to Buddha, compiled by Paul Karras. I've read the Quran 2 different times. I've been around the world, and I'm not going to sit in that same frame of mind just like I did when I was in my teens and had these skinheads think that I owed it to them to let them crash at my first apartment on Reseda Boulevard with his girlfriend just because we were both white power, brother. No, sir. I'm not going to do that. I want to use more descriptive languages, but I don't want to go over the top with it. There's going to be some young homie that's going to see this, and I'm going to tell you, when you do the violence for them, because it's going to happen, there's more things that happened the night that we got arrested for that attempted murder that I have never spoken about, where we were going around looking for gang members of another color, all to put in work over these things, right? And when you think about the educational level that most of those people have achieved, and don't get me wrong, there are serious people that have a lot of time in prison that do have the time to study, and they become educated, and they are very dangerous people, and I don't want to choose them on or provoke them unnecessarily, but when it comes to battling for your soul as a youngster, get an education without sitting in prison so you don't have to spend the rest of your life there, okay? Okay? All these people talking all that smack on Mark's video with my life and my little bit of pudge that I got that I'm losing. I was just in the gym this morning. I was skateboarding. I was canoeing yesterday. Snowboarding the day before. You, youngster. You get to choose. Youngster, white, black, Latino, I don't care. You get to choose the rest of your life and everything, every decision that you make today. Those people don't care about you. They're going to tell you to stab somebody to death 2 weeks before you get to go free. 2 weeks before you get to go home and make something out of your life. Because they're either misguided, confused, or straight up evil. All of which you should have nothing to do with. As a youngster, you will lack clarity on where you want to go in life. Oftentimes, a lot of times when people ask us what we want, we don't know what we want, but we do know what we don't want. Okay? And we don't want, let me check to make sure this is still recording. It's still recording. Because this message is important. You won't always know what you want. But you do know what you don't want. You don't want to spend the rest of your life in prison surrounded by a bunch of people that are miserable because they fucked up everything in their life, or they were unlucky because they got busted once. Okay? And someday, if by somehow I wound up locked up again, which, knock on wood, I would hope that would never happen because I do live a morally correct life these days, I would have generated a great amount of enemies, and it is still worth the potential price I would pay because you are worth it, youngster. Don't go down the same path we did. Most of you guys will not have the wisdom to follow what I'm saying, but a couple of you might. And you two that might, I'm battling for you. People like you, they don't like you. The accolades of mankind mean nothing in the eternal sense, okay? Let me say it again so you can hear it clearly. The accolades of mankind mean nothing in an eternal sense, which means that if you gain the approval of a couple people right now, that's great. Those people probably aren't going to be in your life in a month or 2 months or a few years. And their praise is fleeting. It means nothing, comparatively speaking, to what you achieve with your own life, because you, sir, are going to be present in every moment of it. These guys that are talking about I'm a traitor, I want to talk about Carlos Monzon right today, about him being assassinated, and it's a great tragedy. That guy was a man of moral conviction and stood up for what he believed. And you know what I believe? I believe I'm going to treat people the way that they treat me, or I'm going to treat everyone with respect. And if they respect me, cool. And if they don't respect me, I'm not disrespecting myself or my own moral integrity or belief system by belittling or lowering myself to their level. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody, but it means that I behave a certain way with certain principles and other people don't, and they don't have to. Racism. I believe people have a right to be racist and dislike people for whatever reason that they want. I get a lot of flack over that. Why do I believe that? Because I believe that you cannot legislate what people should or should not like, no matter how ignorant or confused or mistaken their beliefs might be, so long as they are not immediately harming someone's physical property or physical state of being, which means if they are not inflicting violence on someone else's person or property, that they are allowed to express their beliefs, because again, you have to set the truth free, and whatever's a good idea will win itself out by the evidence is bearing that, okay? Do not go looking to be accepted or seeking other people's approval. It's a dead end. Some people will accept you and approve you no matter what because of your family, or they will never accept you or approve of you no matter what you do, even if you cured cancer. I have a lot of people in my own family that are like that. I could cure cancer no matter what I've done, no matter how brave, no matter how many languages I speak, where I've been, who I've fought, whatever I've done. Some people will never give me their approval, and that's fine. They don't have to. I have my own approval, and I want you to approve of yourself in the mirror. There was a time in my life where I weighed 135 pounds on drugs, all sucked up. Right now, I'm 5'10". I weigh 218.4 pounds. Right? Had somebody even challenging how tall or how much I weigh. None of these people are ever going to do anything for you. And the Robert Frank video that he just posted about being vulnerable, let me fill you in on a clue. All of us are vulnerable because we're human beings. To be human is to be vulnerable. And even my own homies or ex-homies that are my same age, it's not too late for you to turn your life around and get everything that you want out of it. Better late than never. And if some of you guys want to see me in public or ever try to inflict harm on me, I welcome it. I don't want that, but I'm also not going to run from it either, because I'm going to steer some youngster some way, down the wrong path, because you might threaten me with something. I'm not afraid of you. You are not to be feared. There's only one thing to be feared, and that's God, and wasting your time on a path that you can never recoup or recover, going down the wrong path and winding out that it is not the life for you, and then one day you wake up and you're 50 years old and you wish you had done something different. Okay? My life isn't all that. I live a pretty simple life. I've got a few physical things, and I've got a wife that I love with my whole heart. People like me, they don't like me. I got a little pudge. You know what? None of it means anything in the grand scheme of things, except for the bond that I have with my wife and my relationship with God. And outside of those two things, all of the material success that I generate in this world, if I'm not doing something with it to help other people, really it's meaningless. There's a person I used to work for by the name of Rick Rusin at Coast to Coast Computer Products in the San Fernando Valley. It's since moved, but that's where it was at the time. Rick was stabbed through the chest. He was homeless. He turned his life around, and the guy's now worth like $50 million, but Rick always told me something that I will never forget, and Rick has been a mentor to me in a lot of ways. He told me that if you help enough other people get what they want in life, you'll get what you want in life. And so my brother has far eclipsed anything that I've ever done with my sobriety in terms of being able to help people. And he's helped tens of thousands of people. And I've garnered a lot of time in these rooms, or being sober, however you want to say it. But I haven't helped nearly as many people as I should. And one of the things I want to do with the platform that I've been gifted right now is to help other people. I've confronted a lot of dangerous people. Let me see what's going on with my phone. It's still recording. I've confronted a lot of dangerous people in my life. And there's some braggadocio, bravado, and all that stuff that goes along with it. Yay, you're tough. People are complaining about how many times I said I'm a tough guy. Not a tough guy. Robert Frank was talking about the detractors are always coming from a lower level or a lower place because they're hating on what you're doing. I'm not going to pay attention to them, because I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing to fulfill what I want in life, which is to help someone like you not go down the wrong path. Because let me tell you, when they arrest you And when you're looking at 15 years of life plus an extra 5 years on top of it, and when the LA County Sheriff's deputies throw you into crypt module and you happen to have a pencil with you, and you're getting hit and you fight your way to a corner, you have the pencil, or when you're doing pull-ups and they see your lightning bolts and the guy tells you he's a Muslim 5%er and they're telling you don't go to sleep, white boy, you're the only one in that equation that's going to be suffering personally on a personal level that you're going to feel. The other people might be suffering too, but you definitely will, and you're going to wish that you weren't there. And you're going to question the decisions that you have made in your life the same way that I did. So any of these comments about I'm a traitor, that I haven't been loyal to somebody that I don't even fucking know, right? I'm not going to do it. I challenge you to do the hard thing and to stay in school, to do the right thing, to become a doctor or a lawyer, to really help benefit other people's lives. Don't pick up a weapon. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to go fight. That's okay. There is some honor in that, but there's more honor in alleviating suffering and healing people than there ever is in imparting violence and death. A lesson I've learned the hard way, man. People like my channel, they don't like my channel. I'm going to talk to you for a minute. My life is ending 1 minute at a time. I'm 55 years old, okay? In a few years, most of the males in my family die at around the age of 63. In a few years, that means I've got about 8 years left, maybe. My wife hates it when I talk like this, but I'm talking to you. I'm not going to spend one fucking minute of those last 8 years steering people down the wrong path so I can fucking make you happy. In fact, I wish we were in a cell. No, I don't. I take that back. I don't wish I was in a cell. But I do relish the opportunity to talk to you about it in person. And some of you guys could wipe the floor with me, and other of you guys I would stomp. Either one of those two things doesn't really mean anything, because in the end, I'm not giving you a minute of my fucking time in any serious way to where I'm going to follow any of the errant teachings that you guys would give me, okay? Because I already followed that in my younger days. To the people that think that I shouldn't have a platform because I used to have a certain gang affiliation or I have certain tattoos, also, likewise, I have one creator to appease. You're not it. And I'm going to continue talking about whatever it is I want to talk about, because we live in a free country and I was born free. You do not own me, okay? And wherever the hell that you got this social justice woke-ass idea that I shouldn't have a voice because you don't think I should, that's not what Jesus stated. Saul, who later became Paul, the great killer of Christians, became one of the most prolific prophets, or not prophets, but apostles of Jesus. And Jesus is much more important than any one of you detractors are, and he put that man in that status, and Paul suffered greatly because of it. If I use the lessons that I've learned in my life to help steer younger people down the correct path, I'm definitely going to use my platform to do so, and don't really care what you think about it. Talking out the side of your neck. I'm grateful for every single thing that I have in my life. My wife is Latina, which means that she's like 70% European for all you woke Mexican-esque type people out there that want to talk about we're not all like closely related. We all are woven into a fabric of life that needs to coexist whether we want to or not. And my wife has taken much better care of me than anyone ever has, including even my own mother at times. My wife has been there every minute of every day that she's known me. I will love that woman forever. I do not love that woman enough. And if you think that any of you weigh more than, or outweigh what she means in my life, you're mistaken. You do not. I have one God. What's written in the Bible is written in the Bible, and I need to live up to it. If it's not written in the Bible, then it is not something I should be following. Okay? Period. Particularly the New Testament and the Ten Commandments. I mean, the Ten Commandments obviously being from the Old Testament, but they carry over into the New Testament. And in the New Testament, there's a new covenant. And I encourage people to read the Bible all the way through, because the New Testament does away with the way things used to be. There are things that are saying that these videos are anti-white propaganda. It's not anti-white propaganda. The U.S. military never let me serve in the U.S. military, and the CIA never let me become an agent for them, which I would have done. That's all I ever wanted to do, because I wasn't smart enough to figure out how to actually produce something at the time. Now I am smart enough. I have a 3D printer upstairs. I print stuff all the time. I sit there and mess around with Arduino programming codes and C++, C++, and C#, Python, Ruby programming languages. And there are a lot of things that I've figured out how to do in my own time. And currently, right this second, I owe $320 in tuition to the university that I'm attending for classes, because I continue to better myself, and I'm not here to live up to your expectations. I'm here to improve mine, okay? So I've spoken enough for the day. I got some stuff I got to do. But that video coming out on Camp Gagnon wasn't my favorite video, but it's important that I put out a background about what's going on, because I've been critical of other people's backgrounds, and that background's mine. I don't get to change it. It is what it is at this point. These tattoos are what they are. I don't like them. I wish I was back to my normal birthday suit that I was given. That's not the case, okay? Enough out of me. I don't know how to really end the video with anything other than that, and just being like, saying what's up, and that's what's up, okay? Cheers.